Welcome to BLUTALKS.
I must say, I am truly honored to be standing on this stage, sharing this space with all of you beautiful people. I want to pinch myself that this is actually my reality today, so thank you. Thank you to all of you for being here and being a part of this. And I'm so excited to share 3 secrets to helping you uplift your vibration and shift your mindset. Now, in our time together, I promise to give you all that I can so that when you leave this space today, you feel like you have received some value-based little nuggets that you can start applying to your own lives. Now, with that being said, I do have a few asks of you today. So I do ask, actually I invite you to come on a journey with me. And I ask that you come along with an open mind and an open heart, and be open to some of the information that I'm about to share with you. So Corey already gave my introduction. Now, I'm also very invested in the world of hypnolinguistics, so I strongly believe in the power of words. And as one of my great mentors said, Derek Sweet, he says that words really can create our worlds. So that is one thing you'll notice me really touching base on today, is using certain words to help us really create the lives that we do want to live. So my intention today, as I said, is to share a few simple strategies that you can apply to your lives to help change the direction of your lives from this moment going onward. Now, before we get into the real juicy stuff, let's talk about life's challenges for a moment. So I know we've all experienced our fair share, and I'm sure we still have many more lessons and challenges coming our way, because that's what we like to call life. So with a raise of hands, who here has ever felt kind of stuck in their life? Right? Like you have an idea as to where you want to go, but you have no idea how to make that happen. Or who here has ever struggled when it comes to making decisions? Right? You stand in your closet in the morning, okay, which 2 pieces do I put together today? Or maybe it's those big decisions in life. Maybe it's becoming an entrepreneur or asking for that promotion, right? These are all decisions that we make on a daily basis. And who here has ever felt lost when it comes to their life purpose? A few of us. And maybe some of you here today can proudly say that you're standing in your purpose, and that's amazing. And maybe some of you are still searching for it, and that's okay too. And sometimes our purpose changes along the way. As we grow and as we evolve, we begin to shift, and as do our big visions and our goals too. And one more, who here struggles staying focused? Right? We have that little squirrel army that likes to hang out in the peripheral waving flags at us every now and again. Hey, look at me! I'm more important than what's going on. Right? We all have our own little personal army that likes to follow us around. So we've all been there. We've all experienced similar situations. But let's start the beginning of our shift here. So let's look at life's opportunities for a moment. So I ask you another question. Is it possible to tap into an infinite personal power source?
Yes.
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 Yes. So this is a source that allows us to energetically navigate our ever-expanding selves. This source births possibility day after day. So yes, you've already said it. I'm in the right room. The becoming unstuck is absolutely a choice that we all have the ability to make. And with every breath we take comes another moment to make a new decision. So, if it's all right with you, I'd like to share a story. So imagine, if you will, for a moment, a 5-year-old little girl, and she's playing in the living room of her family home. She's sitting on the red shag carpet, and she's chasing grand ideas with her wild imagination. But suddenly she's interrupted. And she's interrupted by the sound of her parents arguing in the kitchen. So being a curious 5-year-old, as most are, she decides to take a peek. So she starts to slowly creep over to the kitchen, right where the red shade connects with the cold gray linoleum. She then sees her dad place his hands around her mother's neck. Now, it was in that moment that little girl heard a message. And that message was, you're too loud, be quiet. What you have to say doesn't matter in this world. Now, who here has heard a similar message in their lifetime? That their voice didn't matter, what they had to say wouldn't make any impact in the world. Now, trauma affects us all very differently. For me, I acquired a stutter that day. A debilitating stutter that would hold me back in so many ways. I remember going to job interviews thinking, okay, Alli, you need to turn on that brain thesaurus, because as soon as that letter comes up that you can't pronounce, you need to quickly come up with another word that means the same thing without sounding like you're totally out to lunch. And I just remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, okay, just stay focused, Alli, stay focused. So that was one area that had absolutely held me back. And that's a big area. We spend a lot of our lives at work, right? So not even applying for jobs, but having to communicate at jobs. Now, this was my life for the next 25 years of my life. I dealt with this stutter. I managed. Until one day, everything changed. And I was a new mom. I was excited, but I was having a day. You know those days where nothing seems to go right? You ran out of coffee, you ran out of cream, baby's crying and you can't figure out why. But then all of a sudden, I felt this shifting inside of me, this bubbling. And for the first time in a really long time, I just sat down and connected with myself, and I listened to myself. And all of a sudden, it was though the universe turned the lights on. And when the universe turned the lights on, I suddenly realized how dark my world had been before that point. And life was no longer just about me being the best version of me. It was now about being the best mom I could be to help guide and raise this little human so that he can now build the life that he wants. And it's not the life that I want for him. It's the life that I'm helping him to create for himself. But if I can't communicate properly, how am I supposed to show him and guide him? So it was at that moment that I tapped into my personal power source. The source that you all have deep inside of you. It's there. And it's a deep, infinite well, and it's just waiting to flow. So this is how I activated my personal power source. And let these words guide you today in creating your shift, in changing the direction of your life, so that you can really believe in yourself and have the confidence and know that you're supported along the way. So I believe in myself because I was born with the power to choose how I live my life, and I am tapping into that power today. Who's ready to tap into their power today? Right now. Awesome. And you have the ability to do that. So since I've tapped into my personal power source, I've overcome my stutter.
Wow.
As you can tell.
Woo! Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. And I confidently make decisions for myself and for my family. And I can honestly say that I am standing in my life's purpose, and it feels so good. And I've learned that to be my best, I must invest in myself. Because it all starts here. It starts deep within. And I've learned to be present in my everyday life. So today's truth, you have the power to do this too. You have the power to choose how you live your life without wasting energy on second guessing your daily choices or struggling to stay focused. So let's get to secret number 1, juicy stuff. So secret number 1 to helping you uplift your vibe and shift your mind is to lead with love. So let compassion be the language that you use with yourself and with others. Let kindness be your new way of being, because again, you have the choice to decide. And now there's actual science behind this. So if we're looking at the scale of consciousness, you'll see on the right-hand side we have a whole list of emotions. At the bottom, we have shame and guilt and fear. At the top, we have love, we have joy. Now, if we are living and being in this contracted state, if we're operating from a place of fear, this weighs very heavy on us emotionally, spiritually, physically. And this is often the precursor to dis-ease in our body and illness. But as we move up the scale and we start loving ourselves and understanding how much love there is inside of us, we then start expanding. We then start feeling lighter. And we start to see what is possible for us. Now, when we bring this over to our mindset, yes, our thoughts can create our feelings, but it also goes the other way. Our feelings then affect what we think, and we become sort of stuck in this feedback loop. So if we are operating and living from a place of fear, we are then thinking about fear. Ego likes to kick in. You know, they tell us those stories, you're not good enough, this isn't for you, not now. And more often than not, it actually leads to inaction. And that has us feeling stuck. But when we are living and being and breathing love, we then think about love. We want more of it. How can we feel more love? How can we share more love? How can we get more love out into the world? So then we start operating from a place of love. So how do we shift and uplift and really anchor in this idea of leading with love? With words, of course. So these are affirmations that I like to use every single day. And these are affirmations that are meant to activate something inside of you. So I want each of you to know that by leading with love, by doing this, you actually are love. So you're just allowing yourself to share the wonderfulness that you are, and you're able to then start contributing to that ripple effect. Because the more that we feel good, our energy is contagious. So if you're vibing really high and you are connecting with other people, they're going to vibe high too. That's just how it works. That's how energy works. So secret number 2 to helping you uplift your vibe and shift your mind is to embrace uncertainty. This one has been a game changer for me. I was always very much a type A. I wanted to know what was going on, who was going to be there, what do I need to do, give me, A through Z, and then maybe I'll consider going. Tell me exactly what's going to happen, and as long as that's the way it's going to be, I'll be there. But that isn't any fun, right? And 99.9% of the time, even if there is a plan, it doesn't unfold that way. So I love the yin-yang symbol because it's a beautiful depiction of our journey through life. Because one of the only things that really is for certain is uncertainty, right? So the yin-yang symbol represents fluidity and duality. And it showcases opposing sides of this energetic continuum. And it's this energy that really allows us to live and be open to opportunities. It allows us to say, okay, as much as we want to plan ahead and have big visions and be specific with our goals, yes, but we also need to understand that life is happening regardless, that there are all of these external factors outside of us that like to change the game a little bit. So we experience ups and downs. We experience ebb and flow just as the ocean does. Now, this energy is interdependent. These energies cannot exist without each other. and each one contains a seed of the other. So to experience a bright, beautiful day, we go through the dark, mysterious night. But to experience the dark, mysterious night, we must go through the bright, beautiful day. So how do we carry this over to our mindset? How do we embrace uncertainty? I love this pie chart. The green represents what we know. So if you are a chemistry professor, then chemistry is your jam. If you are a financial planner, then finances is your jam. That's what you know. The blue represents what you know you don't know. So this is that information that you are looking to acquire. You know that it's there, you know where to find it. Maybe you haven't quite tapped into it yet, but you know where it is. But there's this really big area of information and opportunity and experiences that is waiting for us. So it's not quite on our radar yet. It's there. Maybe we're either not ready for it or it's not on our radar yet. But the more that we dabble into the blue and we start learning more about ourselves or our area of expertise, or maybe we take our life in a totally different direction, that's okay too. But when we do that, we then open ourselves up to this whole other world that's just waiting for us. Because you see, the reality that we're living is simply our perception of our reality. There are so many other ways to look at life or look at experiences. There's a way to almost step outside of ourselves and say, okay, what else do I want? What else do I need? So how do we make this idea really stick? How do we anchor this in? With some more words, of course. So I am open to the beautiful flow of life as I continue to attract all that is for my highest good. Because every moment of every day you are creating your life. You are co-creating with the universe. You are always supported. You are supported every step of the way. Number 3, the last juicy secret. I know you've all been waiting for number 3, right? It's always the best one. Woo! So this one is to practice focused attention. So when we practice focused attention, we're able to achieve better emotional control, better cognitive control. And rather than giving into those emotional stimulus that we've been programmed to, that are governed by our amygdala, instead, we then create this greater sense of awareness. We are better able at dodging distractions, and we start to see what we previously could not. That is how we start opening ourselves up to other opportunities. Not necessarily what we think is for our highest good, but what is meant to come along, what is meant to teach us, what is meant to help guide us. And how do we bring this over to our mindset? Well, I like to think of our focused attention like a muscle in our body, like any other muscle. So the more you exercise it, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes, and the quicker we can begin to activate this muscle, the easier we can call upon it to work for us, as opposed to against us. So when we do this, we begin to acquire this efficiency. Our brain becomes more efficient. We are better able to direct the flow of our thoughts. We have better control over our thoughts. We can pay attention for longer periods of time. You know that squirrel army I was talking about? We start to build up our own protection against them. We don't give in to them as easily. And how do we practice focused attention? Learn something new. Whenever you are learning something new, whether it's a new language, whether it's a new sport, an instrument, when we do this, we are having to focus. It is this one pointed attention that allows us to increase the strength of that muscle. Or practice Reiki. Reiki is a type of meditation. Or maybe just meditate. Or enjoy a few mindful moments. Or garden. Whatever it is that you enjoy, find that, do that, and do more of it. Because it's activities like that that help to nourish us and fuel our soul and keep us going. So how do we anchor this one in? One last affirmation for you today. So as I deliberately focus on my intentions, my big goals, and my visions, I am strengthening my ability to manifest with clarity. Clarity is where the magic happens. So unless we are clear about what it is that we desire, then we'll just get a whole bunch of random stuff that's kind of in alignment, but not really. So to manifest quickly, we must have clarity. So my message for you today is that you are all powerful beings. And you do have that infinite source of abundance that's within you. It's not outside of you. It is inside of you, and it's waiting to flow. So when you lead with love, when you embrace uncertainty, and when you practice focused attention, you can create a life you love because you deserve it. You are capable of doing this. And your abundant potential is waiting. So I leave you with one last question today. When will you tap into yours?
Now.
Love and light to you.